I'm an iPhone user and I've been using the Pixel 6 Pro for the last month. Google brought out a great flagship phone this year. I'm going to share with you some reasons why you might want to consider the Pixel 6 Pro. If you'd like to learn more about this phone, I'll put some links down in the description. Now, full disclosure, this was a gift from Google. I'm very fortunate to be able to check out the new Pixel lineup as a member of Team Pixel. I do like keeping up with what Google is doing with Pixels, especially with how advanced Google is with their AI. Now, I'm not going to do a bunch of comparisons, specs, all that talk. You can find that on other channels. Now, I will look at some of these features next to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but at the end of the day, I think Google nailed it with the most important parts of a phone: camera, display, and performance. Now quickly, let's talk about the design. The Pixel 6 Pro is available in 3 different colors. There's Sorta Sunny, Cloudy White, and Stormy Black. I really like the look of this Stormy Black. It's very slick. I started off with Sorta Sunny, but I was able to meet up with a great content creator, Brandon from This Is Tech Today. He makes some great Pixel videos I'll put down in the description. But we traded, and I got this. Now, it's a good looking phone, and if it didn't have the Google logo on the back, I would think this is a Samsung phone, especially with the rounded display, the little hole punch camera. The screen has no bezels on it. If you look at it next to previous versions of the phone, check that out. It just falls off to the side. If you look at the body of it, definitely a lot sleeker. Now, this is the first Pixel that I've been putting the case on regularly because it does feel so premium. The previous version, this has an aluminum body on it. This has a composite on the side. They just didn't feel as premium, so I felt a little more comfortable with no case. Now, the dislikes about it, it is slippery, fingerprints all over the back, but most likely that'll be in a case. The camera bump, I don't care. It's the function that I care the most about, so that's fine with me. Aspect ratio is a little long, but overall, I have no complaints about it. Now, one of the most important things about a phone is having a nice screen, and this is a great looking OLED display. Definitely looks like a Samsung phone with its curved edges, but it does have great palm rejection. Now, the resolution on this would be Quad HD, and if you're not familiar with that, that would be halfway between 4K and 1080p HD. Here's a look at it next to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The screen is very vibrant. It's a nice looking display. Both the iPhone and the Pixel are 120 Hertz displays versus what the 60 you commonly find. This 120 Hertz display that's on the Pixel 6 Pro and the iPhone 13 Max, it leads to smoother scrolling and higher frame rates for content, but overall content looks good. It's a nice display. Next is the performance. The big thing I love about the Pixels is that Google makes the hardware and the software with it. So that means you get all the latest, greatest features from Google, and you get to use an operating system as they think it should be. That's one of the things I love about using Apple products, Microsoft Surface, or Amazon devices. Having the hardware and the software from the same person, I think leads to a better optimized device and experience. Now, the Pixel 6 Pro has Google's new custom chip. It's called the Tensor chip, and this thing has like dedicated cores for just AI task alone. So if you make requests, the computational photography, live translations, and a lot of those other AI features, it's got the dedicated cores to handle that, which helps speed it up. But overall, the phone is very snappy. I haven't had any issues with performance or concerns. One of the things I love about it is voice dictation is great. The AI model's been improved on this and is capable of proper punctuation now. You can also use voice dictation to use emojis. And if you use a name, it'll reference your contacts now to see if it's spelled correctly. There's a lot of AI stuff that's pretty impressive. It's pretty crazy. You could hold up the phone, use the camera, and translate signs in near real time. Another feature I really like is live captioning. It'll take a video, a phone call, or really anything and put captions over top of it. Now, one of the biggest things I think people think about when getting a phone is the camera. The phone camera is where we capture so many of our memories. And Pixel phones have been amazing with photography. They do great pictures, but they've always relied on computational photography. The sensors themselves in these other Pixel phones are pretty weak. They just kept using the same ones over and over. So from a video standpoint, hasn't been that great. Now the upgraded sensors on this make a huge difference. There is a 50 megapixel wide camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 48 megapixel telephoto camera. And you look at this, it's crazy. This right here actually has an optical zoom within it. The cameras have really stepped up. The front-facing camera is 11 megapixels, and this is capable of shooting up to 4K video at 60 frames per second. Here's a look at some video next to the iPhone 13 Pro Max.
It really is amazing what Google is able to do with computational photography. And now they've taken it to the next level with some of these processors, like the ability to erase people and other objects from images just with a tap or scribbling it out. That's kind of crazy. I do appreciate that we have a zoom lens and a telephoto lens, and the fact that telephoto lens is a 4x optical is pretty cool. I'm a diehard Apple fan, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. Like when it comes to portraits, Pixels do a way better job. Pixels have always been great for pictures because of computational photography, but the actual sensors in the Pixels are relatively old and they kept reusing them. So in the video side of things, it kind of has suffered because of that. Now, we're looking at these updated sensors, and what do you think? How does it look compared to the iPhone 13 Pro Max? Did they step up their game enough? This is with the ultra-wide lens right now. Here's a look at the wide lens. And here's the telephoto lens on the Pixel, zoomed in all the way to that 4x, and the iPhone at its 3x. I can't tell right now as I'm walking around, but you tell me, did Google step up their game enough to compete with the iPhone 13 Pro Max? Are these cameras good enough this year? From what I'm seeing, it is a big improvement.
Face on blur is great, especially if you have action shots where you're more likely to get a blurry face. The True Tone that was added is designed to help people with darker complexions actually have accurate pictures, to be able to represent skin tones accurately. So they did a lot of research on that. The last one that I really like, especially if you're somewhere with a lot of people, is People Eraser. Check out some of these examples here. I was in a line at Disneyland and was able to remove people from the picture. In Star Wars: The Galaxy Edge, I was able to remove people from a picture in front of the Millennium Falcon. Not as easy there, and I think it's because it has a difficult time recognizing a spaceship behind the people and knowing what to put there. Makes sense. But in a lot of cases where it can fill in the blanks, it's amazing. To use Magic Eraser, here's a picture of my family and I when we were over in France. We have other people in the picture, but let's say I just want to keep my family in there. I would hit Edit, select Magic Eraser, and now it's going to find suggestions. Now, if it's one of those things where you want to erase everybody, you would hit Erase All, but take a look back there. Way off in the distance it found people. So in this case, I don't want to get rid of my family, so I can just start tapping people away. I could zoom in, remove everybody that it identified in the background. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's undo that erase and remove. And that removed everybody, but this guy's bike's still there. So you would just cross it out and it's gone. Hit done. Now that day, it was just me and my family there, or at least that's what the picture shows. Now, a couple of things I don't like about this phone. It is very slippery. It's a ton of fingerprints on it, but it lives in a case anyways. I'm not a huge fan of fingerprint sensors. I really wish Face ID could just be worked in. That was one of the things I really liked about the Pixel 4. But I do like that it's not on the back. Haven't really liked that. I do find at times it feels a little slow when using the fingerprint sensor. But overall, it's a great phone. I don't have a lot to complain about. Battery life has been great. It's been snappy, no complaints running apps. It covers all the main features I think everyone needs. It's a good looking phone with a nice screen. It performs well and has an amazing camera. What more can you ask for? I mean, as an iPhone user, I'm impressed by this phone. Google, you did a nice job stepping it up and to that world of super sleek phones. What are your thoughts on the Pixel 6 Pro? Let us know in the comment section. Next, make sure to check out this video over here for some more great information. I'm not just saying that because I made it. It's good. Check it out. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.